Good evening, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Monday, January 23rd. And looking at the S&P, everything still looks good. We made a new high relative to the recent rally that we've seen the past couple of months, so that's good. We sold off from 1318 straight back down to 1305, almost in one swoop. So you want to be on the lookout for some type of lower high at these recent levels. 311, remember, it was resistance of some type on Thursday and Friday. We broke through that today, but then, in my opinion, failed. And we're going to have to see what goes on for the rest of the week to see if we should look for some type of pullback, whether it be 1% or maybe 2 to 3%, or basically sideways consolidation and a continuation of the uptrend. So from this current perspective, the S&P looks, it just is extended, and that doesn't mean it can't go higher, but what it does mean is that the potential for some type of pullback becomes a more likely scenario. So I want to bring over the S&P on a daily chart, and one thing we got today was a shift of the point of control from 1325-ish to 1310. And what that means is the current levels we're trading at become a little more important than what they were even just the past couple of days. Now, realize that there has been a lot of activity that's gone on since the last time that price has been at this 1310 level. So with all of that action, it may not be as accurate. However, usually on the S&P, the accuracy remains. So we are in the midst of trying to break into this big high volume area from 1303 or so from the downside, call it 1300, up to 1336. If we can stay above, call it 1300, then we're okay, but if not, we're probably going to see some type of pullback, and it may be down back towards 1280 to 1275, so that's just something to be aware of. But overall, everything's still okay. We still made a new intraday high today. NASDAQ still okay. Dow still okay. So in that perspective, you want to stay long names that we continue to cover. Dell continues higher, up over a percent today. Intel, remember we were buying on this weakness back in December. Basically, what I did personally was bought some at-the-money calls, and I've taken the process. Once we got to the top of the channel, up in this range, I took some profits, and what I did was I rolled up and out. So I went from having, I think it was a $22 call option. I think that was a strike that I chose, and once those appreciated and price got to the top of the channel, I rolled those out and rolled them up to, now I'm holding 25s, and they expire in the summer. So I'm looking for more price appreciation, but realize that it's important to lock in your gains, and one of the ways to lock in gains is to sell your current options that are probably way in the money and profitable to an at-the-money option just to take the risk off. Looking at others, IBM earnings was a complete buying opportunity. Well, prior to earnings, complete buying opportunity. All price did was get to the bottom of the channel. People saying that IBM was broken or we've topped out. Warren Buffett wouldn't have bought it at 165, that general range, if we were topping out at 200. So just be aware of that and realize that there's more potential for upside. EMC, you should be long this name. I hope you're long this name. Somewhere around $22. We're sitting on decent gains for a slow mover, but realize it may take a while to get up towards 26, 27, but that is our price target. So be aware of that, and realize there could be some resistance around the 200-day moving average. Psychological 24.50 or so. That's going to be at 25. That was recent swing highs, but really volume resistance is not up till at least 26. So it still looks okay. Chesapeake Energy, a big jump today after they said they were cutting natural gas production. I thought that they already came out and said that a couple of months ago, but I mean apparently not. I was daydreaming or something. Nonetheless, what's important to notice is point of control support for the last 2 years, 21.50. I was buying right below those levels, and what I was doing, I was buying, I want to say June, going out to June and buying the at the money calls, and likewise just accumulating more shares. And this is a name that I continue to like on a fundamental basis. My cost basis on share wise could be better because I've been trying to realizing that we're close to some type of bottom, trying to accumulate some shares, and finally have them in the green, and have the call options in the green. So hopefully there's more price appreciation. Would like to see a real move up towards 28. That would be a logical target, which we're basically, it's where you start getting into the mess of what has happened in the last 52 weeks. But nonetheless, it looks good. Gold continues its move higher. We're coming up to some type of trend line resistance, if that's what you want to call it. But you can see the important thing is, and it gets kind of blurry here, but our lows, this is GLD. If you want to bring up the gold futures contract, similar picture. Bounced off the point of control for the year, have moved higher since. We're probably going to have a little bit of resistance up here. Like I said, trend line resistance. You got some volume resistance. 1670, 1680, we're right in that range. If it can continue higher, great. I think it does. I think we're going to go and test 1800 again. But just be aware of that. Silver, I don't like the picture quite as much on silver, just because I don't think that, what I do think is that we have some type of triple bottom here, and that's basically your line in the sand. That wasn't enough for me to try to pick the bottom of silver. I still think on a pullback, that's where you want to look to get involved in silver. But for right now, I'm very, very limited exposure in silver, and I'm not sure if I'd rather be in gold for the time being. Walter Energy came out on Friday or Thursday, saying I'm long some 70 calls expiring. I believe the expiration date's in March, and right now those are sitting on pretty nice gains. Almost, I think they're around 50% gains. I'm looking for $70, $75 on the upside, and until we get there, I'm not very interested in selling. I think this simply has more room to run. A run to the top of the channel is probably likely. Breaking this downtrend resistance should spur some short covering from shorts and some buying from people who are trying to look at the value of Walter Energy. Just to kind of stay on course, Alpha Natural Resource, I said that if you want to define your risk, these recent lows would be an opportunity. You're actually getting paid to put on that risk, and perhaps this Alpha Natural Resource move, this one that we were expecting, was just a fake out. We ended up closing the gap and from the beginning of the year, and we're looking for potential upside. Maybe these two big red days, one was down, I think 10%. Maybe that was the flush out, but I think it's okay to nibble in this, take very small position, because when it gets going, it's going to go.